This video is a training lessons learned. We had some training the other day that I felt would be good to talk about with you guys. What were we doing? We were doing squad movement tactics and reacting to contact. What we had is we had 3 5-man fire teams and an instructor. So we had 16 guys, good turnout. Doing the things, good guys. We did a dry run with all 3 fire teams online. It was very limited in space. We were crunched together in the terrain we were in. So what we did is live fire. We ran 2 fire teams and we did leapfrog. We did fire team online, wedge formation. And then what we did was came under contact, returned fire, squad moved, set, covered, squad moved, set, covered, etc. Move forward to the objective, fought through the objective. We were using steel plates. We were using a dueling tree that was rated to 308, so that was good to go. And it was a lot of fun. There was still, it was like a dirt road and then sections probably 30 feet wide on either side, 20 to 30 feet wide on each side of the road. The road was clear, but the other stuff on the sides of the road had about 4 or 5 inches of snow and short bushes and stuff. And there were a couple of choke points where the bushes in the tree line came in closer, so it kind of choked the teams into a narrower spot. And there was one section of the road had a huge mud puddle in it. So we just had to deal with that. But realistic training, what are you gonna do in a real firefight? Are you gonna go around the puddle every time? No, you're gonna go through it. So some lessons learned. There's some rust for some of the guys, but it was good training. First lesson learned was me. I'll do it, I'll take it. I'll take the first lessons learned. First live fire, I was on the left side going through the snow and rushed, went to hit the ground, and I slipped a little bit in the snow going down, bam, busted my lip into my buttstock and was bleeding all over the place, but I didn't even notice it. I mean, I knew it happened. That's why you gotta be careful, even in training, but things happen. You gotta deal with it, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep on fighting. And I know that's just a minor little thing, it's not a big deal, but kept on going. Another thing, another lesson learned was at one point, our first run through, because there was still some rust and everything on some of the guys, we kind of got choked down, and we avoided the mud puddle. We played pansy, and that was also a choke point for the tree line. So what happens was when we set and we were trying to do cover fire, because it was a training environment, I had about this much clearance between the guy that was about 10 feet in front of me and the targets. I chose not to take the shots because it's a training environment and I didn't want to accidentally have him move over and I didn't want to shoot my buddy in the head, right? So no, you got to be careful. But what ended up happening was 2 of us got crunched behind the other 2 guys. So it meant only 2 guns were in play during the cover. That was not adequate cover fire. The other squad moved. We knocked some rust off. Next couple runs were great, were a lot better. So we had some new guys also that were a lot less proficient at this sort of stuff. It's not really a lesson learned, but it's what we did. We had them sit back. We were actually kind of more like in a diamond formation. So the guy in the back, we had him be the new guy so that he was not engaging at all. He was not shooting at all. He was just going through the flow, seeing how we do it, and practicing the movements. This is very important. When you're doing live fire exercise, you gotta be very, very careful. That's why we require plates for everybody that goes out with us. Plates and an IFAK. Mandatory gear, as well as ear pro, eye pro, and common sense. Squad leaders. Squad leaders need to not only be near the center of the formation so that their commands can be heard by everybody, but if you're running multiple squads, they need to be in the center of the overall formation so that if, say, this squad leader is taken out, this squad leader is already there in place and he can give commands to the whole group. Also, solidify your chain of command before you go out as part of your SOPs. If squad leader goes down, who takes over? If that next guy goes down, who takes over? This is based on experience, not where they're standing on the field. Experience is very important. That person needs to know what they're doing. And in a firefight, large volume of fire, we got 10 guns going full on, fairly rapid fire. Verbal commands are very difficult to hear, even though almost all of us, I think, had amplified ear pro so that we could hear better. But if you're in front of your squad leader or anywhere, you need to make sure, and I had some rust on me in the first run. I wasn't looking back. I got caught up in everything. I wasn't looking back at my squad leader as often as I should have been. And our 6 watch, because he was new, wasn't turning around and watching our 6. That's another important thing. When you're going out in a squad formation like this, as part of your SOPs, every person in the squad needs to know their area of responsibility and not forget about it. Not get caught up in trying to get more guns online and engaging the obvious threat. Because that obvious threat may be the base of the L for the ambush. There may be a bunch of guys over here, over there. There may be guys coming in flanking you. There may be somebody moving up on your rear. You gotta pay attention to that. What are some other lessons learned? So I don't wanna blow all my M855 SS109 green tip. So I had put in there the 55 grain steel case tool ammo, which is fine. If anybody says, don't use steel case because it ruins your extractor, well, then your gun is overgassed. Your gun is built improperly. There's no problem running steel cased ammunition in an AR-15 if it's built properly. But due to that and the fact that my rifle wasn't as clean maybe before, there was some build-up gunk I noticed afterwards, and the crap ammo. This rifle and the rifle I was using was a different rifle, has never ever failed me, but I was having a lot of malfunctions. So I had to clear a lot of malfunctions, which is bad in a real world environment, but in a training environment, it's actually kind of good because I had to work through issues while keeping moving, while on the ground, doing all those things. Another thing is I want to talk about when you go to the ground, you're going prone, most of the time you don't want to get up in the same location that you went down in, because if they saw you go down there, roll off to the left, roll off to the right, mix it up, mix the distance that you roll, and like I was saying, that one choke point I had, what I should have done, had I been more aware, which is important, you gotta be aware, what I should have done is I should have rolled one direction or the other to achieve a clear line of sight so I could have brought my rifle into play. And so should the other guy that the two of us allowed ourselves to be taken down, only allowing 2 rifles up front. You really gotta work the team and move where you need to move to ensure that you have the maximum amount of rifles online, engaging, involved in the fight as possible. Lessons learned for gear. One lesson learned, not really a lesson learned because I would never do that in a real situation, but the first run through that was dry, we still ran it. We still, hit the ground. We still got up and ran, stuff like that. I took my full mag out because what we do is we, unload our guns, show it to other people, make sure everybody's unloaded, put the full mag in my dump pouch. Well, the mag fell out of my dump pouch while I was going because it's full, it weighs a lot. We were able to recover it, no big deal. This is one of those things that if you get out and train with your gear, you're gonna find weaknesses. You're gonna have gear fail. I've squared my kit down enough now where I don't really have any failures. I don't have any things that go wrong. What can go wrong? Will go wrong, yes, but have your kit set up and train with it all the time so that you are very proficient and very effective employing everything that you need to employ in your kit. But these are things you'll never learn unless you get out there and train. I hope that you guys are able to have a group of people to go out and train with. We got a really good group of guys. And I'm really looking forward to the next training. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's good exercise, physical exercise and mental exercise. It's good for muscle memory. It's good for testing your gear. And it's good for camaraderie, getting out there with the guys. It's good for team building and all those things. So get out and train. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.